Hello, welcome back to our next episode of Dragon Age. I'm excited to see what our crew here gets up to tonight. Before we jump into that, I'm going to say a quick few words about our sponsors and then pass it on to Matt to introduce everybody. So our sponsors are Fundamental RPG. It's a simple D20 system that is not tied to a genre, so you can use it to tell any type of story that you would like, from sci-fi to fantasy and everything in between. You can pick that up on Amazon for the physical copy, or if you prefer the digital version, you can pick that up at coffee.com/Raven, like it's spelled at the bottom of the screen. Also, a thank you to Die Hard Dice, another one of our sponsors. You can check their stuff out at dieharddice.com. They sell really, really amazing metal and polymer dice sets and accessories. And you can find their stuff at dieharddice.com. If you use the code ANIMUS with a capital A, you can get 10% off of your entire order. And I highly recommend checking out, in particular, the Luminous Chrome set right now. It is very, very pretty. There's a link straight to that in chat. And that is our sponsor. So if you want to catch up on this show or any others that we have on the channel, you can do so at the Fantasy Network at watch.thefantasy.network. And real quick, I thank you to IC Historian for that Tier 1 subscription, and Nikki for that also Tier 1 subscription. Very much appreciated. That is 2 advantages that y'all can just let me know in chat who you would like to give those to, and I'll get those up on the board. That's everything, so take it away, Matt.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Tuesday night game of the Dragon Age campaign. I am the GM, Matt. We're going to go around, introduce yourself and your character. We're going to start with Pat. Hello.
Hey, I'm Pat. I'm Attacktrick online, on Twitter, on Twitch, anywhere that you would need to find me. And I play Calix. Calix is our Navaran Mortalitasi death mage. And he is, we've described him so many ways. He is the ultimate indoor boy in that he's so far indoors, he's underground.
Very good. Very cool. Next up, we have Anna. Hello.
Hello, I'm Anna, aka Archival Dust Bunny, most places on the internet, queer and trans advocate, museum worker, and TTRPG streamer. I play Mariana Delamorte, a crow who is looking for her sister. Very personable, nice person. Does occasional casual murder, but it's all good.
It's fine. It's fine. Oh, wow. Hey, Hype Train up in chat. Good job, everybody. Keep it rolling. Next up, we have Icy Historian. Hello.
Hello. How's everyone doing today? I am Icy Historian at Icy Historian, all of the places on the internet that I feel like being found. And I am back from a month-long social media hiatus. Yay. And yeah, I play Asala Polanius, who is a Tevinter Altus, who was given the very important job of getting very far out of the Imperium and hopefully not coming back. So Asala is has been a little bit cast adrift, and is working on maybe some of her own independent ventures. And I'm very excited to see what happens in the forest today.
Oh boy. This hype train just keeps on rolling. Love it. Next up, we have Rafiki. Hello.
Hello, I am Rafiki. I'm a TTRPG streamer. You can find me here on Tuesday for the foreseeable future. Otherwise, I stream on the GRQ channel. Besides that, I'm a composer occasionally. I guess to a certain extent professional because I once got paid for a gig. So, but yeah, that's pretty much what I do. And here I'm playing as Adrian, the only Dalish, or the only Elvish actually, person, and also a rogue. So, Team Rogue.
Very, very cool. And last but not least, Nikki. Hello.
Hi, thanks for not making me first.
You're welcome. You'll be first on the other go.
No. Hi, I'm just ready to play.
Oh, very cool. We're going to do that. We're actually going to dive right back in. I'm Matt. Hello. I'm a content creator of various stripes. One of those contents that I'm creating is kicking in the door and having a glowing green humanoid shaped tree come walking into the back dining room of the bar in Antiva City, where all of y'all were going to be having a nice dinner. Let's do initiative.
Yeah, and we didn't even get breadstick yet.
Do I get to use stunt points on initiative?
I'm not sure.
I think you do.
Would that be
A bunch of them.
combat or? Yeah, if you find one that you like, go nuts. You got 4 whole points.
Love those ton points. That's a good roll.
All right. We're getting some initiatives happening. Y'all have all done much better than this tree. I believe there is a button for initiative.
So it's if you've created all of the boxes that have like health and mana on your character sheet, it's in one of those, as opposed to off to the side with all of the normal stats.
Would you like to know which stunts I'm taking, or do you want me to wait?
Which ones are you doing? While we're waiting on initiatives to roll in here.
First, I will taunt this creature. So it's my deception against their self-discipline. And if I win, they get a -1 penalty on attack rolls and casting rolls on their next turn. And then I'm also going to take a defensive stance, which gives me +2 bonus to defense.
Okay. Awesome. So they are looking your way.
You want me to roll deception for that?
Yes, please. Go ahead and do that. Yeah. Yeah, I'd say so. Jeepers Christmas. Okay. All right, so the monster in question is focused on you then, Mariana, correct? That's his gig right now?
No.
No. Yeah, read that stunt for me again, the taunting.
Yeah, I didn't do the one where he's focused on me.
Okay.
Wait, let me find it. I taunted him, which just distracts him, so he suffers a -1 penalty on attack rolls and casting rolls on this next turn.
Oh, hey, that's real good. That's really good and helpful for y'all. You're gonna appreciate that you did that. I've seen this guy's stats. He's mean. Let's see here. And Mariana, you're up first.
Okay. Yeah, let's so we're in this room, just recapping where we're at. It's Justice in this room, right? And then this creature comes bursting in the kitchen door.
Oh, yes.
What does it look like again?
It is a vaguely humanoid-shaped wooden figure.
And I don't recognize anything like this.
You know what? Everyone can give me a perception roll. Perception seeing. Yeah, perception seeing will work for that.
Would cunning arcane lore apply?
Yes, it absolutely would.
Would magic arcane lore apply?
Also, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I think I got soup in my eye.
Okay. So Valentina and Atrian, y'all aren't sure what this is. It looks like just, things is weird in this world. Atrian, you've seen... Adrian's seen weird stuff in the woods before. There's all sorts of things out there. Who knows? Mariana, you've seen something like this before, and usually it's bad news and magic. Magic did it, probably. Usually magic's involved whenever one of these shows up. Calyx, you're kind of in the same boat. There is deep, like, you know, this thing is fade possessed of some sort. Asala, this is what's called a wild sylvan. It's when a rage demon inhabits a tree and over decades slowly corrupts it until it eventually just goes like, oh, I can walk now and murder things. You're muted.
I am. And too bad for you all. I just gave away all of the secrets of the universe and promptly forgot them. So I have 5 stunt points that I saw.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that it doesn't really count for the combat stunts.
It's not going to be for combat. It's going to be for perception based mostly on that one, since that came off the perception check.
Biscuits. All right. Well,
Those stunt points are fun, but they're so focused.
they are. I'm going to have to find the list of the perception based ones.
Doop-a-dap-a-doo.
It's okay. I'll figure that out.
Okay. All right. So, Mariana,
Yes.
you know it's vaguely magical.
Yeah, which I don't know much about. I'm going to take one more bite of my breadstick, and then I'm going to jump up and I'm going to run at it, and I'm going to attempt to kind of sidestep it and come up underneath and backstab. So that is, wait, let me get this up. It's first a stealth versus seeing, and then if I win, I get bonuses on my attack that I do next.
Okay, go ahead and roll yourself.
Those are some nice stuff. I'm getting stunt points all over the place tonight.
Yeah, you are. And you beat it, so it has no idea where you are.
Oh, nice. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to attack, and with my stunt points, I am going to pierce armor for a single point because I'm a rogue. And I'm going to lethal blow. So an extra 2d6 on my attack.
Okay, so tell me what piercing armor does for me there. Like, is it lowering the armor rating?
Yes.
Okay.
The armor rating is halved, rounded down versus the attack.
Oh, awesome. Cool.
So let me roll that. And that gives me, let me see. This backstab gives me, so I get a +2 on my attack and then an extra 1d6. So I have an extra 3d6 on this attack if I hit.
Heck yeah.
Let's see if I hit. So 13. Ugh.
Okay. You're
Wait,
going to
that's
be
not-
really stinking
is that
happy
right?
that you did armor piercing on that. That hits just barely, but it counts.
Awesome. Is my dagger supposed to have dex in it? Is that missing that?
Ooh, I'm not sure. What's these numbers doing? There's a lot of math involved with it.
I do believe so.
Okay, so that should be 14, 15. Yeah, so it's a 16. So
Okay, then yeah, you should. All right, so it's taking 16 points of damage.
no, that's the hit. It's 16 to hit.
Oh yeah, that
it-
hits.
Okay.
Dish out that damage. Yeah,
Is this plus another 3d6.
I love it.
15 points of damage.
Yeah. All right. This thing is unhappy.
Yeah, I step up underneath it and jab up underneath its arm.
I love that. That is, yeah, it's not having a great day. Let's see. Anything else you want to do on your turn?
That's my minor and major action. That's all I got.
Okay. Next up then is going to be Asala.
Okay. All right, team. I think Asala is going to take like a half second to like look very impressed in Mariana's direction, like a very sort of like girl power era, like, oh hell yeah. And then she's gonna kind of shake that off, and is going to go tried and true, burn it like a lot. So wait, is Mariana like right up on it?
Kind of right behind it, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, kind of angled up under its arm. She's kind of crouched down a bit.
Oh. Well, that's upsetting.
What you got?
I was going to cast Flame Blast, but I feel like that will hit her.
I mean, what's going on with this spell? Can we aim it or shape it some way?
It says gouts of blazing fire erupt from your outstretched hands, burning nearby targets. The flame blast is 8 yards long and 2 yards wide. Anyone hit by the blast takes 2d6 plus 1 damage. Targets that make a successful dexterity acrobatics test versus your spell power only take 1d6 plus 1 damage.
Is the room even that large?
The room is not 8 yards long, but I think you could make an argument that you could like angle it enough of a way that it's mostly not hitting Mariana as well.
Could I go diagonal so that I get
yeah.
the most surface area, but like diagonal grazing the shoulder, so the Mariana just gets like a nice little warm, like a little little warm up, like, you know, on a cold day when you open the oven and you're like, okay, just a little bit like that, not like a being on fire.
Oh, sure, yeah.
I am not asking how large the room is.
I'm all about rule of cool.
Yeah,
And not burning the eyebrows off of your friends.
big same. I'm glad we're here for this together. I don't know if I did that right, but there we go.
Flame blast? Who? Wait, what? What happened here? You rolled numbers, but somehow oh wait.
Yeah, you have to hit
Roll
the
that
target
again.
number.
Roll that again for me.
Okay.
This happened previously. Okay. Something happened last time where it tried to do some weird math. We're gonna just take the raw numbers off of your sheet here. 6 plus 4 plus 5, and then plus another 4 in there for magic. So 10, 19. So that's a 19. And the target number was apparently 12 for some reason.
Right.
Yeah, it worked by 7 whole points.
Great. And it's 2d6 plus 1.
It's actually 3d6 plus 1.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
All right. I love all of those things. 3d6 plus 1. That's 10.
Okay, love that.
Me too.
10 whole points. Okay, cool. All right, it is very mad and very scorched. All right, next up after Asawa, we have comparing notes on the initiative rolls. I believe that's going to be Atrian.
All right. So, Matt, because you're amazing at this, can you paint me a picture of the tavern? Like, is there stairs? Is there balcony?
Oh, okay. So y'all are in like a back room off of like a main bar space.
Okay.
There are a couple of these kind of back in this area. They all have back doors that lead towards the kitchen and then the back alley. Y'all's probably has the most direct access to the back alley, which is presumably where this thing came from. There is a couple of levels above y'all that are various forms of like gambling and housing for whatever activities you might want to do in either of those places.
I'm just asking if there's essentially a vantage point that I could probably get into.
Oh, not in this room.
Any rafter or?
Well, you know what? Yeah, there's rafters. There's for sure rafters.
And is there like a chandelier or something?
There is.
All right. Could I try something that will most likely fail because I rolled like shit today?
Please.
Can I
Please.
kindly swing from a chandelier on the rafter to
I
get a
feel like
vantage point?
I feel like that's a dexterity thing of some sort.
I think that would be dexterity acrobatic if I have that, which I probably don't because why would
Well,
I
let's see.
bother?
Let's see if you do, and let's see if the dice like you. I like the idea. I
Oh,
think
yeah.
it's great.
I also like the idea of what will happen if I'm probably gonna fall on my ass, but let's do this.
That'll be a whole fun conversation.
That is a big 14.
That is a big 14. Okay. I'm going to give you two choices.
Okay.
Choice one, you can make it to the rafters,
Yeah.
but it's going to exacerbate an existing situation that we have not commented upon yet. Or choice two, you don't make it to the rafters, but the situation does not get worse.
You know what? Because I'm a, chaos person, let's go with the worst situation possible.
Love it. All right. So tell me how you get up into the rafters, and I will elaborate upon the story you weave.
I mean, I really want to, go swing from the chandelier and try to wrap at least my leg around the rafter and then try to pull myself up.
That goes exactly like Errol Flynn always dreamed it could. The only part of the story that you weren't really expecting was once you got up on the rafter, the chandelier broke loose.
You know what? I'm sure they have insurance.
They do. It's great insurance. This place is run by the Crows. Wink, wink, cough, cough. What they weren't really ever encouraging is a lit chandelier to fall onto a kind of smoldering table.
You know what? The place was already on fire.
Well, it wasn't. It was kind of smoky. Now it's on fire, though. And there is a fire in the middle of this very wooden room.
That's cool.
So, I'm gonna keep track of this. It's
All right.
gonna go great.
So was that my major and minor action to do that?
I don't want to.
Because movement is typically minor,
Yeah,
but that's a bit more than movement. So
let's call that just your major action. You still have a minor one if you want to set up a shot or something.
all right, let's see what I can do with my minor action.
Or sell me something else. Sell me another option there.
Um.
I feel like that was just a little bit more complicated than
Oh,
normal.
absolutely. Yeah, I'm just gonna. I'm just gonna stand firm and hope that I don't fall.
Okay. Cool. Hey, you're out of the fire range right now. You don't have to worry about that at the moment. Let's see. After Atrian, then next I believe was Calix, and then Valentina, and then the tree. So Calix, you are up next.
All right. So so this angry tree thing. Two questions, I guess. Never mind. Just one question.
Okay.
Looked like Marietta was did it look like this thing was hard to pierce into and hurt? Like it was purely just how awesome a rogue she is that she was able to find this opening?
Yeah, she put some work in on this tree. It looks kind of chunky.
Okay. Then Calix is going to go ahead and cast Vulnerability Hex.
Ooh.
This is I curse a visible target within 20 yards, making them more vulnerable to attacks and spells. Until the end of the encounter, they have a -1 penalty to defense and a -2 penalty on ability tests for spell power.
Okay.
They make a magic entropy test. If they make a successful magic entropy test versus my spell power, they only get one of those. They only get the defense penalty.
Hey, I'm going to tell you. Go ahead and roll for it. I want to tell you, magic is not their strong suit, but it's also not a weak suit. They're even. They don't have a bonus to it.
Okay.
It just really doesn't like magic. That's what it's doing. It doesn't like magic. 10, 16, 18. Okay. They only got a 12. on their check, so you beat them.
Well, so 12 is the target number, but they go against my. I don't know what. I guess I don't know what the difference between target number and spell power is.
Your numbers beat their numbers, and for
Cool.
right now, I
Awesome.
think that's all we're going to care about on this.
Yeah, and I think the way that this looks is you see Calyx get very focused on this spirit that is essentially inhabiting something it shouldn't be, which is not my deal. I'm very much about getting spirits into the dead body that's right for them, helping them find empty homes. So I think the way this vulnerability hex looks is you actually start to see like entropic or spirit energy start forming cracks around the bark that almost looks like the fiery red ray just starting to like show through from the physical form.
Okay.
I'm helping speed its release from this body.
I love it. That's so good. All right, so this thing is now getting a bunch of negatives, which it doesn't appreciate, but that's really its problem at this point. All right, up next is going to be Valentina. Hello.
So the person who plays Valentina is not sure what she's doing at all.
Okay.
But can Valent just kind of duck and shoot an arcane bolt at it?
Absolutely, you can.
Okay. I didn't fill my stuff in correctly.
Okay. Let's see if we can fix this real quick here. Atrian, do you think you could pull up, Rafiki, do you think you
I
work
can
a quick bit of magic on that?
I can certainly try. What are you looking for again?
Arcane.
Arcane bolt.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Let me just pull up the book quickly.
All right.
Essentially, I think it's just essentially your.
Don't be afraid
equivalent
to
of
use the
cantrip.
resources of people that know the game better than you, players.
Yeah.
'Cause I have no idea what I'm doing.
I mean, I like to pretend that I know the game. No, that's. I was looking for a source book. It's not in the right folder.
So wait, are the breadsticks on fire now?
Oh, breadsticks are a little bit annihilated. Yes.
We're making some crouton here, okay?
On fire. So what's wrong?
You're making croutons out of them.
Yeah.
That's not fair. We were promised breadsticks.
I
We
mean,
should have.
that's some garlic butter, and you get some fancy garlic bread.
Valentine's going to show up tomorrow saying, "Matt, I want breadsticks."
Yeah.
As well, we'll find that information for you. Arcane Bolt. Costs 2 MP, so you do that. It's a major action, target number 10. And the test is dexterity versus acrobatic versus spell power
Okay.
on the monster side.
Okay. So let's get a magic roll up here for Valentina.
Okay, so that's character. And I check the magic box. Come on,
Mhm.
magic. Uncheck perception. Okay, now roll. Please be good.
Okay. Cool. That worked. Yes. So that beats the 10. He's got to do a dexterity check against you to see if he beats that. He is not. I'm rolling very poorly today. So he fails that. What is the damage on the arcane bolt there?
1d6.
1d6. All right.
Actually, target is within 30 yard, so in this case, it's 2d6.
Okay.
So-
Roll me.
Yeah, if you fail, yeah.
Yeah, go ahead and roll me 2d6 there, Valentina.
$10.
10 points of damage. He's having this tree is having a very rough day. It's not thrilled about it.
Well, it burned my breadsticks were burning because of this tree, so he deserves not having a good day.
You know, you say that. And so far, what's really fun about this is so far, 3 people have done direct damage to it.
Look, I mean, it's not my fault if they don't know how to hang a chandelier properly in this place.
All right, so I need Mariana, Asala, and Valentina to do dexterity acrobatics tests for me.
Does that mean I check both boxes?
Do just dexterity unless you have a focus in acrobatics.
Do I get those stunt points?
You will, yes. Yeah, you absolutely get those stunt points.
I'm gonna fail this so bad. Let's see. Let's see. I got a 6.
Okay. Mariana, what do you want to do with those stunt points?
Yeah, since I'm not attacking, I have 5. So I will. Can I knock him prone? Kind of as I'm like jumping out of the way, kick its knee or something.
Yes. Yes, you can. That's amusing to me. So yes, absolutely.
Awesome. Yeah, so I'll kind of kick his knee as I jump out of the way of whatever is happening for knock prone. And then I'm going to use 2 stunt points to skirmish 4 yards away.
Okay.
And then another stunt point for stay aware. So I can take a moment to make sure I'm aware of everything that's happening around me with the perception check, TN11.
Okay.
And the
Go ahead and roll
focus
that.
of my choice.
Okay.
The focus is the fire.
Oh, good. Yeah, go ahead and roll that perception check.
Just
Oh,
wait.
You hit it exactly. The fire is not spreading yet. All right, so here's the thing. Mariana just pulled off some wicked awesome moves and got clear of this attack by moving 4 yards out away. Valentina and Asala did not get clear of this attack, even though if Mariana had not moved 4 yards away, she would have suffered the same fate. Asala and Mariana, this tree gets like kicked down to the ground. Its hands hit the floorboards and its fingers sink into the wood, and both of y'all are just wrapped up in tree roots. And you each are going to take 6 points of damage. I'm so sorry.
Sorry,
The
who was that
computer
again?
did it. You can all see it. The computer did it. I didn't do it. The computer did it.
Does that mean we can't do anything?
Y'all are very bound. So y'all are, what's the actual? Okay, it's gonna take something to. You're immobilized, basically, is what it is. There is a strength test you can do to try to pull free, or if you come up with some other option, we can do that instead. It's gonna take something major to deal with it. But you
Is it a
two,
hard tree?
what's up?
Is it a hardwood tree?
Oh yeah.
So I can't fight it?
I mean, you could try. I don't know that that would get quite the right result you're looking for. Okay, back to the top of the round. Mariana.
Yeah, and I was not hit by that, right? So I am
You-
not bound.
Because of your stunt points, you got free enough to not get hit by it.
Okay. The fire does not seem to be spreading
Yet.
yet. Which means I have at least another round. Yeah, with this thing prone, I have what does that give me? +1 on an attack roll. I'm gonna try to backstab it again. So I kicked its knee and rolled backwards, and I'm gonna run back in and aim. I guess for its thigh or something. I may see a chink in its armor.
Love
let's
it.
Let's see if or first it's Dex versus Stealth versus Seeing.
Okay.
So 15.
Yeah, no, you beat that.
Okay, so I get
It can hurt y'all, but it can't see you for shit.
so I get +2 on this
Cool.
roll. Let's see if I fixed my dagger. Hey, wait, did that work?
It
6, 9.
added a bonus.
Okay, that is too much. What did it add?
It added a whole 3d6
So-
in there.
It added your attack roll to your roll. It looks like.
That's not right. Okay. That should be 6, 9, 12 total. +2 is 14.
Okay, and this was still armor piercing.
I did not get any stun points, so no, unfortunately not.
Okay,
It does have one. It does have one less armor. than
that's
normal.
true. And that actually is going to be what saves it. As you said, it was 14, right?
14. Right?
Okay,
Yeah.
you are
Yes.
exactly hitting that thanks to that one reduction from Calyx. So do your damage and everything, and let's see what happens.
Okay, so it's this plus an extra 1d6.
Good.
So 8 total.
Okay. All right. It's not having a great night. It's kind of screaming now a little bit at y'all. It's Sala, you're up next. And hey, the roots don't feel great.
No, they don't. And I'm really irritated. So can I cast magic if I'm immobilized?
I'm not sure.
Because I looked at my spell and it doesn't say you wave your arms, you do a dance, you conduct an orchestra, land a 747, anything like that. So
I was kind of imagining that you would use your magic to get out of this. So that's what I was assuming you would do. Boy, I don't know. Let me check. Let me do a check real fast here. Hop-a-doop-da. You'd think there would be an appropriate I'm going to be wise about this and just look at an appendix. Hey-ya. Well, that's stupid. I am not finding anything that is immediately and rapidly enough for our purposes right now that tells me you can't. Go nuts.
okay, so I have nothing that will get me out of this.
I mean, you have fire.
I do, but if I'm like right next, oh, I'm not right. It didn't pull me close, did it?
No, it is wrapped around you.
Yeah, but I mean, like, if I shoot the fire at the far away from me part.
Oh, that's true. Mariana did get back up there on it, so you're gonna have to try to angle it again.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like, Mariana, are you like on its back or?
I am next to it. Yeah, I kind of slid up on my knees and stabbed into it while it's prone.
Great. Let's see. I feel like if we're going with rule of cool, if I may, if it's too much, feel free to smack me back down. I think that through the sheer force of Visala's rage at the insolence of this creature to put her in such an undignified state, I think that she is going to once again go for Flame Blast, but she kind of turns it like up. So it is like You know, like in like the Bugs Bunny cartoon when Bugs Bunny is underground and it's like the like a plow.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's where we're headed here. We're headed. I wonder, can I fold it in half? I mean, it's fire. I feel like I should have a little bit more control over it.
I feel like that would be like I would need a stunt to give you that much control over it.
Okay, I just want to avoid Mariana. That's really what I want to do.
I feel like you can do that.
Yeah,
You
all I want to do is avoid Mariana. Like, that's the goal. It doesn't have to look that cool. I don't care if we take like a Mariana-sized bite out of my flame blast. That's fine.
Okay, go ahead and roll for it. It's got to do a dex thing against that, right?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
No, that doesn't do anything.
No, it doesn't hit because it doesn't hit
No.
the target number.
Okay. Is that all I can do?
You have those stunt points. Take a look and see what those stunt points are doing for us.
Sure. Let me go back to the end of the book. I'm going to make a series of little jingles for...
And yeah, I think that would be a mishap, technically.
Is that... I don't know what that means.
Well, does that mishap? Yeah, because it failed, so that wouldn't be stunt points. That would be mishap, right?
Sure. I'll look at those.
Hold on. Let's check that real fast. Rafiki, am I right? Okay, that's a mishap. Which oh no,
What's on the dragon die?
that's a 2. So
The
that's
mana
a
burn.
mana burn.
I lose health equal to twice the spell's original cost, so that's 6.
Raven is pointing out that you also have an advantage in a crit.
Yeah, you know what
You may want to use that.
Yeah. Let's use that.
Go ahead and reroll that flame blast then. Let's do that. Okay, that's much better
Yes.
because you actually succeed. Good.
Yes. And it's 3d6 plus 1?
I will be because he is definitely failing for being prone. So
Right. Okay. That's 11.
11 points of damage. This poor tree. All right. It is not doing very great at all. And it's going to be Atrian's turn.
All right. So for my, great position here, like seeing, that maybe they should have like used better nails to the chandelier. I'm just gonna aim at this creature who is on his butt right now. So I'm gonna use my minor action to aim, and then shoot it with my bow. So I will aim and roll for that attack. So that's 17 with 4 stun point. I'm assuming that beats his defense.
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's use those combat stunt. So I have 4 stun point in there, right? Cool. I mean, it's already prone, so there's no need for that. So I'm gonna use 1 stun point for rapid reload. So I'm gonna have, another arrow in my bow right after.
Good.
I can do pierce armor for 1 because of a roguish ability that I have. So I'm gonna do that. And then I'm just gonna use my 2 other stun point for defensive stance just to be ready after. So
That sounds great.
let's roll some hurt. So pierce armor, it's essentially half his defense down, armor down.
Okay.
So okay, I rolled the worst case possible. So 2. I don't know what his armor is, but I'm pretty sure it's better than 2, even half.
It is even with it halved. It is you are not beating its armor.
You know what? If anything, I'm just tickling and distracting it.
Hey, you're keeping its focus moving all around. It's not enjoying the moment. All right. Anything else you want to do, Atrian?
I mean, I already look very cool on top of the year, so I'm good.
Okay. Next up is Calyx.
All right. So has Asala successfully extricated herself from this, or she just wrapped up and still?
She and Valentina are both still wrapped up in these roots.
Okay. You know what? No, never mind. We talked about that on the boat. I was just like, wait, was that the first time I've seen Valentina cast a spell? Like, no, we covered that. What I will do is I know Asal has had more magical training, so I'm going to run to Valentina, and I'm going to, it seems like these roots are part of this creature, right?
More or less. They're like
Or
a
animate,
summon.
at least.
They're out of it. Yeah, it's like a summoned effect.
Okay. Because I am going to just grab a hold of this bark on her and cast Drain Life.
Oh, I
Alright.
love it. Do that. Let's see
Yes.
what happens.
I think I hit the target number.
Yes, you got a 13.
Nice. Also Drain Life. You suck life energy out of a visible target within 10 yards. Oh, I guess I don't have to touch it. I'm going to anyway.
Yeah, it's more flavorful.
Yeah. The target takes 1d6 plus magic penetrating damage, and I'm healed by the same amount if I was
Nice.
damaged.
All right.
If a target makes a successful con stamina test versus my spell power, the damage is only 1d6 flat.
Ooh, hold on. Versus your spell power?
Yes. Which I guess was 13 in this case.
13. All right, it did beat that. So it's just taking the
By-
1d6.
How much? Because I still have the vulnerability hex,
Oh,
which brings it down by 2.
then it only tied.
Ah.
So it's still, I think advantage would go to you on that one. Advantage to the player. Why not?
Okay. Well, then
That's how I've been doing it so far.
'cause the magic, my magic is 5, so I get to add 5 onto that.
Yikes.
I guess I should probably tell Roll20 to roll those numbers instead of just putting in the sequence.
Eh,
I can type. I can type, everybody. Just wait. I can't. There. It's 9. It was 9 points.
9 points. 9 points. All right. This thing lets out a good little scream here from that one. It's not having a great day, really. And then it is Valentina's turn. You are wrapped up in roots.
Okay, since I just saw Calyx target the roots, can I target the roots with my arcane bolt?
Yeah. For sure, for sure.
Okay. And I roll, I'll remember this. Okay, no, I don't remember what I rolled before. I lied.
Let's roll back up here a little bit.
It was magic, I think.
Yes, it should have been.
Okay. Well, let's see what I got 18.
Okay, you got an 18?
Calyx by me that I do stuff.
Okay, cool. All that I was really going to have you roll for on this one was to do your magic, was to see if the spell goes off, because you can literally put your hands on the roots somehow and make magic come out of them.
Okay.
Roll damage. It's 2d6.
So this magic lesson seems to be going well. Okay.
Yeah, I would say so. So the tree is going to stand up for its movement, and it's gonna scream again, and then, what's it gonna do next? Huh. Okay. It is going to charge at Calyx, who did the single most damage to it in one go. Now it's an idiot. It's an enraged idiot tree, because that means it's going to run through the fire, like an idiot. And also like an idiot, it's moving more than 4 yards. So Asala and Valentina, the roots around y'all drop off. Hey, Calix.
Yes.
I'm real sorry about what's about to happen here.
Yeah.
Although if the dice roll like that, I'm not. Hey, does a 16 do anything for you?
That's against my armor, right? Or my defense?
Defense, yeah.
Yeah, that definitely is.
Oh, okay.
I am squishy boy.
Okay. How squishy would you say you are? What's your life total at?
My health
Yeah.
starts. I'm at a 30 out of 30 right now,
Okay.
or
Okay.
I was.
Well, sometimes you realize that the monster you chose might have been for a slightly higher level party, and you have to adjust your numbers a little bit. It just brings this like branch of claws down on you for 9 points of damage.
Okay.
And I'm going to give you roll me 2d6. Seven. Okay. That's the damage it's taking from the fire it ran through. So it's very not happy. But it is not quite enough. It has not yet caught on fire despite all of this fire. And that's gonna be its turn, and we're gonna go on break and come back to this group. So we'll see y'all in a few minutes. Get a drink, do what you need to, and come back for more Demon Tree combat. We're gonna get to more, I promise. welcome back. The first thing to note about this combat that we're still in the midst of is one, the fire has now spread. It is all over the remains of the table after the chandelier crashed on it. The breadsticks are a complete lost cause, and 2 of the chairs are now ablaze. The second thing to note is that the door out to the rest of the bar opens up. The woman who had brought in the breadsticks steps in, looks around, she goes, no. Screams, flings a pot of soup in the general direction of the fire, and then runs back out the door, screaming. And it's Mariana's turn. Oh, it stalled the fire. The center of the table is now just smoldering again. The edges are still on fire, and the chairs are still lit.
What kind of soup was it? Was it like
Party
chowder?
Oh, it was a good clam chowder, solid cream sauce, real big chunks of meat. It was delicious. It's gone now.
But
More things to be angry about. Mariana.
But her screaming hopefully means reinforcements. This thing ran away from me, and it is now wailing on Calyx. So I'm going to run up behind it, and I'm going to step off of one of the chairs that is not on fire, and try and come down with my dagger on one of his shoulders or something.
I love every part of this idea. Go for it.
Doing backstab again.
All right.
Because I can. So this is stealth versus seeing.
You have so many stunt points. So many stunt points.
This has been a good fight for me.
That's the closest it's gotten to beating one of y'all's freaking opposed rolls, and it still missed.
Yeah, I'm going big. As I jump off the chair and come down on its shoulder, I'm doing lethal blow and pierce armor.
Oh, talk to me about lethal blow. What's happening there?
Extra 2d6 on top of my extra 1d6 from backstab. So I roll my normal attack plus 3d6.
Holy crap. All right.
And its armor is halved.
Love it.
From pierce armor.
Get it.
Hopefully I hit. 14.
Yes.
Cool.
And you got more stunt points.
I don't think I get them the second time in a... Yeah, because it's considered a single set of actions.
Okay. Well, you got the important ones under your belt then. Go nuts.
So this is first, so 6 plus...
Yeah.
So 18 points of damage as I jump off the chair and come down on this thing's upper back.
Jeepers Christmas. It's gonna go to its knees under this. It's in a very bad way. We were talking during the break that I have adjusted some of these stats because if you ever look at the stats of a wild Sylvan, it should be eating them. But I have not touched its health. And y'all are brutalizing this thing. I absolutely love it. Next up is Asala. You are free of the vines. Roots.
Where is Asala in relation to the table and chairs?
I mean, the table is in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
It is, the edges are on fire. I was assuming you were kind of closer to the middle. The on fire chairs, let's say they're on the far side of the room from you.
Okay.
Because that's the direction your fire was going.
Yeah. So I think Asala is seeing that the fire is somewhat contained for the moment, right? Like it sort of is back from raging to just sort of irritated.
Sure. That's a fair assessment.
I think she is actually going to I don't know if I can even do this, so please tell me if I can. I think she's going to take off her cloak her sort of traveling cape situation and just sort of flop it down to smother like some of the fire.
Sure.
Because it's, she doesn't want it to become more of a hazard than it would.
That's very nice of you.
And it's like a pretty decent, it's sort of the, it's a Tevinter Altus look. I imagine it's like one of those, like if you ever see like the cardinals show up and they're all in their like finery and it's all the big thing. And she has her like traveling sort of uniform on underneath it. I think it's sort of like that.
All right. I love it.
I don't know what I would do in order to see if that works or if
if that's going to be your action, it'll just work.
Okay. And then I don't know. Can I do anything else?
As long as you don't move, we'll call throwing your cloak onto the fire your minor action, so you still have your major action.
Okay. I am going to cast where is sorry, I need to where Atrian is Atrian after me in the combat order?
Yes. He's up
Okay.
next.
And what does it do if I add fire to his arrow? Does it add or does it just make it pretty?
It'll add damage to
Okay.
to his. It'll give him the bonus for damage and for fire damage and all the stuff that comes with that.
Great. Because I think, oh God, I just lost it. Sorry. I have flame weapons,
Okay.
and I think I am going to do that to because Atrian, you readied an arrow, didn't you, with your last thing?
I already have an arrow notched in.
Yeah. So I think we'll do that. Flaming weapons. Okay. Let me do that correctly. And I did not do it the right way in the thing, so I just had to change it. Okay, I'm gonna do flaming weapons.
Okay.
Oh, I missed it.
So,
I'm on fire.
no, it's just not gonna work. Do we have? I mean, what would a crit do in this moment? I wonder. So it's not going to work, unfortunately, since the target number is 15. It just misses
that's
it by
fine.
1. It misses by 1. I'm sorry. That's such a bummer. That was going to be so good. If you wanted to use your crit, it would just auto succeed.
Yeah, I feel like we're in a good enough spot that I don't know if I want to use it. I already used my advantage, and I did get like the fire kind of quelled, so maybe the crows will only be a little irritated and not like murderous. So yeah, I imagine like Atrian's arrow and like Mariana's dagger like spark for like a minute, and then they're like, no, thank you.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay. Well, that's a bummer. The tips of the metal arrowhead and the dagger kind of heat up for a second and then kind of cool back down, or just kind of steaming a little bit. Atrian, it's your turn.
Fantastic. I'm glad it wasn't a mishaps for her, because what would have been that one? Would have been terrible. So I'm standing on top of the whole situation, and I have essentially big monster pretty much below me at this point because he rammed through Calyx.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just gonna aim down and shoot at it. I mean, it's right there. Probably So aim and oh, that's pretty good. 21 plus 4 stun point.
Yeah, that's absolutely gonna hit.
All right. Cool. So 1 stun point is going to be pierce armor because pierce armor.
Yeah.
No. Another one will. 2 will be. You know what? I'm gonna go with lining it. I know that's 3. That's 3. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Mighty Blow and then Rapid Reload
Okay.
because Rapid Reload is saving my butt. I don't have to do a minor action to do that, so.
Heck
All right.
yeah, love that.
So that is 1d6 plus 1 plus 1 6 for the Mighty Blow. So that's another 6 there. So that's a 12 of her damage.
Okay.
And I just notch quickly another arrow right in there.
So this thing is still up, but barely. It is coming down to the wire for this thing. Calyx, your turn.
Gosh, yeah, so at least in my head, the way this happened was, and maybe this is because I've been playing too much Dead by Daylight recently, but I pictured this thing just charging through the fire like friggin' like the Resident Evil nemesis and is just wailing on me to the ground at this point. And I think Calyx will just kind of like try and brace himself with his hands, and when he makes contact is gonna just try and pull off another drain life on this thing.
I love it.
Oh shit, that looked good.
Yeah. And he does not beat it. So,
And oh god, I've not had spell stunts before.
oh yeah, you get to go nuts.
Magic stunts are so fun.
Yeah.
And I have 6 of them. What? And this is drain life. Is that spirit? It's entropy. That'll be fun. I mean, these are all things that are going to happen to the character I hit, and I imagine what's going to happen first to it is it's going to die. So maybe I should just roll damage, and then we'll worry about if I need any of those.
Yeah, that's probably correct.
So 10 points of piercing. Like,
yes,
or
you're
armor
killing
piercing.
it.
Okay.
Describe how this tree thing dies.
I think in between like wails as as Mariano's coming in with the daggers, as Adrian's lining up the shot, you all are just seeing like Calyx like bruising and bleeding from the nose as he's like getting wailed on. And I think you just see as this thing is starting to collapse down and almost fall onto him. I think you see me kind of roll out from underneath the thing and like holding one branch up above myself that all of the life just drains out of, as that just goes like gray and dead, and my wounds actually patch back up and I'm back to full health.
That's amazing. There's kind of the normal Dragon Age effect of a spirit returning to the Fade that happens there. And the tree shape is no longer moving and is starting to smolder a little bit from where it fell into some of the fire. There's a very polite cough from the open door. And any of y'all that look over will see a what looks to be a town guard in armor Mariana, you will notice that this is clearly, you see all the little signs that point to this being a crow agent who's just kind of wearing the town guard gear. And he's standing very politely at the door, just, I take it the disruption has been handled.
Yes, we took care of it. It's a bit of a mess, but we took care of the creature at least.
Yes, very good. Would you like to use one of the other rooms for your dinner?
That would be wonderful.
Of course. Right this way. We'll get this all taken care of.
Without even looking around, Mariana just follows him like nothing's wrong.
Asala takes like one last kind of mournful look at her burned, destroyed cape and is like, meh. And then follows.
Oh, if not to derail, if it's cool, I actually found the other spell stunts that I did not know existed.
Oh,
and
yes,
could be
please.
used for things here. So I'm going to spend some to regain 1d6 mana, but then I also get to make a roll that is, I make a target number 11 magical test, and if I succeed, become aware of some key magical detail of the current encounter.
Yeah, go ahead and make that roll.
Just for lore on whatever the fuck this tree demon was.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So you just get knowledge about the previous encounter?
I think it's an encounter, not necessarily like the creature. It's you either become aware of some key magical detail of the current encounter, or else gain a +1 bonus on your next magic-related test.
Which would you prefer?
Probably just a detail, like maybe why this thing busted in here and tried to kill us.
Okay. So we're gonna have Calix leave the room last. Valentina and Atrian, are y'all following everybody else out?
I mean, besides being very, well, first confused by the, giant angry tree that just came in, and also confused by the strange, apparently very casual approach to stuff like that in this town. I will eventually, slide down from where I'm in.
You get used to it. There's lots of people around that have, all these abilities and fighting skills. You just get used to this kind of thing happening.
I mean, it's not my first time with mage, but
Yeah, but you get used to places getting destroyed and burned down. You just rebuild, wait for the next ones to come by.
and I mean, in Elvin, Shemlin are so weird.
All right, so the two of y'all walk out of the room together, and Calix, as you go to follow them out of the room, when you step through the doorway, you step into the Fade.
Oh, yay. This always goes so well.
And this does not feel like any other trip you've had to the Fade. This feels more like an illusion-based thing. And there's a giant fucking wolf in front of you. And there's just this thought that pops into your head was like, you've angered some very powerful individuals with deep ties to the forest. Don't die. I would hate for my mark to be used in vain. And he nudges you with his snout and it shakes you. And you look back up and you're standing in the doorway and there's a construction worker carrying some tools, and he's just poking you in the shoulder, sir, we need to assess the damage if we can get by.
Right, of course. Did you hear anything just now? Besides after the screaming, but before this conversation.
Just the crackling of a fiery burning chair that's collapsing behind you, but not really. You all right there, friend?
Oh, demon trees,
Oh, yeah, that'll happen. First time in Antiva City?
Will it? How frequently?
Hey, man, the sky done got ripped open a couple years ago. Nothing really startles me anymore.
Right, but I just, is this like a daily thing though? Should I expect another show tonight?
Well, I ain't never seen a possessed tree walking around, but, you know, there's some folk that don't much like the crows and some crows that don't much like folk and all sorts of other things wandering around these days. Yeah, damn prophets coming through town. You know, what's one more weirdness piled on top of everything else?
And well, apologies. Yes, I will get out of your way.
And he and a couple other people walk into the room, like close the door, and you hear just like the Animal Crossing construction sounds, just like start flying out of there. And y'all are escorted into another room where there is a nice dinner spread, a new basket of breadsticks, of course. A new pot of soup has been brought in. The owner of the hotel comes in and just apologizes profusely to y'all. We don't know how such a horrible thing got in through our defenses. You know, nothing has penetrated this hotel in weeks. We have the best record in the whole city. This is unacceptable, and it is my deepest apologies. I am so sorry. And then they will scamper out of the room and leave y'all to dinner.
Sorry, before you leave.
Yes.
The prophet didn't happen to stay here when they were in town, did they?
Oh no, he stayed with some of the of the city elves.
Okay.
Some of the wealthier ones, but still with some of his own.
All right. He awkwardly has no more questions for her. That was it.
This silence stretches on like that for a minute, and then the owner just goes, okay, y'all, when y'all are ready to go to bed, we have rooms prepared. I'm gonna go handle some things. Just points to a cord next to the door. Just signal if you need anything, and they walk out. What are y'all going to talk about now that you're actually finally getting a chance to breathe?
Valentina's going to eat her dinner.
It's delicious.
Like nothing happened. She's just going to just, whatever. I can't talk right now. She's just getting her plate together, eating like nothing happened. Cheerfully.
Very good.
She's got her new hat on.
Eating as well. And as I'm eating, I'll look up everyone. Well, I have to go north. So if you're planning to stay in the city for a while, you'll be without a guide, but I think you'll be fine. I could use some company though, especially some mages, since things keep popping up so much.
I think that Asala is going to sort of very calmly look up from her soup and make eye contact for just a second with Calyx and look over at Mariana and just say, it's interesting. We also, as it turns out, have business north.
Lucky me.
There's a hat sale tomorrow.
Where exactly in the north do you need to go?
I'm heading. There is a forest.
Arlathan Forest?
Yes.
That would raise an eyebrow for me. Like, well, what
Yeah,
are
I'm
you-
actually looking for my sister. And I'm told that she was last seen in that area, so I'm heading up there to see.
Is that so? Well, I may know a few people from around there. No. There being what was at some point City of the Elves.
Yeah, I don't know much about the area. You're welcome to join us if you like.
Might be an easier travel with a Dalish guide. Some Dales still go the old way when it comes to the Shem and may ask question after shooting first.
Oh. Yeah, I would definitely welcome your help then.
A guide would be most helpful.
Speaking of intricacies that perhaps we may miss, when an elf tells you that something is related to the forest, do they mean like any forest at all, or this particular forest? Is this like the forest?
I mean,
like, for instance, if someone said, "Oh, you must have attracted a powerful enemy related to the forest," just as an example.
did they just say the forest or a because Arlatan is essentially more or less sacred ground for us. It is in what you would call in your tongue translate to place of love, and is pretty much the heart of the Dale in a way. At least it was at some point. Before, well, you came along. And I'm gonna turn to Marina. You seem to have curious friends and connections.
I've washed a lot of dishes in my life, done a lot of laundry, and when you do that, you get to know people around town.
May be able to help and trade favor.
What kind of favor?
I'm also looking for somebody, and perhaps some of your friend may have seen her by.
I can ask around before we leave, sure.
We can talk about it later.
Okay.
Correct me if I'm wrong, that's also the direction that we've heard the prophet is going, correct?
Was it?
Thought so?
Yes.
Oh,
It
That's
appears as though
unfortunate.
all of our goals are luckily converging in the same geographic area. And I think that Asala is sitting with Valentina, and I think Asala is going to put her hand over Valentina's hand, whichever one is not currently like digging into the soup, and she's going to say, I think it would be good if you also came with us. It would give us an opportunity to continue your training.
Wait, there's more learning?
And I think Asala's like legitimately excited by that, and she sort of is like, oh, like there's always more learning, and like there's always more that you'll be able to do all of the time for forever. There will always be more.
Okay. The hat sale can wait.
There will always be hats.
Yeah, but you didn't see how nice this one is. We'll have to come back and I'll show you.
On the return trip.
Yeah.
So it's settled then.
Yes. So the two of you are seeking the prophet.
I mean, at least for personal curiosity, I'd like to. He claimed he'd murdered one of the Magisters Siderial. That seems like the kind of person with the level of experience that would be able to answer quite a few questions that I have from my research.
I don't know much about politics, so I'll leave that sort of thing to you.
Oh, I hate politics. My research is more practical, magical. than self-serving.
So you do magic and math?
Yes. Sometimes. It's kind of like its own math. It's like numbers.
Oh. Do I have to do math?
The technique is a little bit different for everyone. We could be casting, the same spell, but you may have your own way of doing it.
Okay, yeah, you can keep your math.
Mhm.
Have fun with it.
Good.
Calyx is a little hurt.
That was far less complicated than I expected it to be.
I didn't mean to be hurtful. It looked really complicated.
It's just like, oh, I guess I don't have to be a tutor for anyone.
It just looked too complicated for me.
It's messing with you.
All right. Well, anything else y'all want to talk about over dinner, or are y'all just gonna kind of shoot the shit for a little bit?
Yeah, I think Asala is absolutely going to change the subject and start asking Mariana about all of the dagger tricks and backstabbing and like whatever.
I mean, when you travel around doing work, you have to know how to defend yourself.
Yes, it was just very impressive. I feel as though you had flipped halfway around the room before I had figured out what I had in my pockets.
Anybody can do that. It's not that impressive.
Well, either way, it was for me. So
I
Good on.
appreciate it. It's just things I've picked up here and there. It's nothing special about it. I mean, your magic was very impressive.
well, fire is what it lacks in precision. It certainly makes up for in performance.
Thank you for not hitting me with it.
I was as delighted about that outcome as you were, and as unsure, if I'm being honest. There are
That
times
is-
in the brasher days of my youth where I would not have been so dexterous.
That is not reassuring at all. But thank you for your care. But yeah, after dinner, but before we go to bed, I'll get Atrian by himself so that he can tell me what he wants to find out about.
So I'll probably just be there with like a little hollow figure in my hand. A little bit ago, my niece went missing, and following the trail led me to here. But honestly, I doubt that she remained within the city. Whoever brought her, possibly brought her north or somewhere else, I don't know. But if you're friends from town may have seen or know, it'd be appreciated.
Yeah, if I could get a description from you, I could ask around. I do have a few friends in the city who may have seen something.
Yeah. About less than 4 feet tall, blonde of hair, green of eyes, pale skin, doesn't have a Vaseline yet. As a little leaf birthmark on her neck.
Yeah, I
mean, I'm assuming, too many we look alike, so
I'll ask around.
one more
And-
pointy ears. Or as some of you call us, knives ears.
There are a number of the people that I will ask are Elven as well, so the description I think will go a long ways.
Appreciate it.
Of course. I appreciate you being our guide.
I'll do what I can.
All right, and I think that's gonna be a good place to stop our game for tonight. We're gonna be heading out into the wilderness outside of Antiva City next week. And hey, great job killing a demon tree. Everybody level up before y'all go fight more things. I mean, explore the beautiful forest. Right. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with us tonight and for watching us and chatting and getting that awesome level 2 hype train going there at the beginning. That was amazing. Go team chat. We're going to go around in the opposite direction of how we introduced ourselves, which is going to start with Nikki. So I'm giving her warning, and tell us your favorite part, where we can find you next, and anything else you want to hype. And yeah, thank y'all so much for hanging out. I hope y'all enjoyed a more combat heavy episode. We'll probably be back to more talky stuff next time. All right, Nikki, are you ready?
I'm not here. I left.
But I see you.
No, I left. I ran out. But if I was here, I would say I like the being able to do combat, even though I didn't quite understand it. And I don't know what to hype because I'm not here. So you could, except for this awesome fruit. That's what I'm gonna hype.
All right. If you think of something, let us know. Rafiki.
Hi, hello, it's me again. Favorite part? I mean, we accidentally invaded Toast, so that's pretty dope. And we survived, so that's pretty good. And we also know that Calyx is very good with animals, so that's amazing. But yeah, that was a super fun session. Love these people, they're amazing. Also, always a joy to come here every Tuesday. And well, if you want to see more of this face for some reason, you can find me on Thursday on the GR Crew channel, where I will be continuing GMing as we're actually approaching the season finale of Titan's Grave. So things are getting interesting. They met a mermaid last session, so
That's very, very cool. All right. Icy Historian.
Oh, heavens. So I am Icy Historian. You can find me a bunch of places doing a bunch of things with a bunch of people. Some of them are these people, and some of them are not these people. Specificity is the name of the game, team. I think my favorite was just seeing I've never done combat in this game before, so it was cool to sort of get a vision of all different kinds of combat, where we had this sort of, well, obviously the magic-y, but we were all doing slightly different magic, and obviously seeing the cool rogue stuff and the stunt points flying around were just great. Like, it made me feel like the epic battle in the anime, right? Where like everyone's doing their like cool moves. So that was a ton of fun. And yeah, that's me.
Awesome. Very, very cool. Anna, hello.
Hi there. My favorite part tonight was, I have to agree with the stunt points. This was also my first like real combat. Like, we had a little bit with the skeletons, but it went by quickly. My favorite part was how good Roll20 was treating me tonight, because normally if you watch other games that I'm in, it does not treat me well. And it seemed to be apologizing tonight, and I enjoyed all the cool stuff I got to do, being a bit selfish with my favorite moment. But yeah, that and Patrick's dishwasher union comment in the chat, that also was a highlight of the night for me. But yeah, I am Anna, aka Archival Dust Bunny, most places on the internet, queer and trans advocate, museum worker, and TTRPG streamer. If any of that sounds interesting, you can find me on Twitter at Archival Dust Bun. I am busy, as I am always, very busy. Tomorrow night, you can find me on Valdrin's channel, 8 p.m. Eastern, playing the finale of Morphs in the Swamp, our Animorphs Blades in the Dark campaign. We made some very questionable decisions last week and are now heading to space. Things are not great.
Looks like that escalated quickly.
It did. Made a lot of mistakes. Thursday night, you can find me at TPK Roleplay playing Call of Cthulhu as part of the Halloween range of specials this month. And Friday night, you can find me again on TPK Roleplay playing Pangolin Prom, which is exactly what it sounds like. It's a prom for penguins.
Sounds dope.
Yeah, it's with the TPK Coven. So very much looking forward to that. Sundays, you can find me either on Gona_Hawking playing Shifting Echoes, our 5e campaign in a world of 1930s technology, where I play a noblewoman on the run after a coup ousted her and her family at 1:30 p.m. Eastern, or at 8 p.m. Eastern on Guild of the Phoenix playing Cyberpunk Red, where I play a very overworked med tech just trying to keep everyone alive, and they really want to die. Mondays, you can find me on Weave the Tale at 8:30 p.m. Eastern playing Alien Paradise Lost. Things have gone poorly for us, and they continue to go poorly for us. It's that kind of game, that kind of horror game. If podcasts are more your thing, you can find me Response Team Omicron and Lance, our actual play podcast, playing through No Room for a Wallflower. Our premiere episode was pushed back to next month, but it'll be worth it, I promise. We've recorded a few episodes and we have an amazing group playing through it, so definitely look forward to that. And just announced Heroes of New Halcyon, which is a City of Mist actual play podcast following teen superheroes who have grown up, moved away, and are now coming back to a city that they do not recognize with all of the trauma they have gained since. But yeah, best place to find out where and when I'm streaming is on Twitter, so follow me there.
Very, very, very cool. I need to go find the VODs of that Animorphs game and watch all of it.
Maybe two of my games.
Oh yeah, what you got?
No, she hiked two of the games that I'm in.
Oh, good. See, we're gonna get there. Pat, favorite things? Where you find you next? Anything else you want to hype?
Yeah. Ooh. Oh gosh, where did my favorite things go that I had prepared? Yeah, oh gosh, I had two things, but I only remember one. So I think just the aftermath dinner was definitely a favorite part. I just pictured us all like walking out of like covered in ash and bruises and blood, and then just going one room over and sitting down and eating. Yeah, that's you can catch me on my channels playing playing Urban Shadows, our Ruby Tooth Bay, which is our Urban Shadows campaign. It's usually Sunday nights. I have screwed up that schedule a bit recently, so that's on me, but we will be getting back into that soon, and I will be posting specifics when I can.
Awesome. And I am Matt. I am a content creator of various sorts and stripes and styles. You can find me again on this channel on Thursday nights as part of the Star Wars game that Nikki is also in. And you can find me over on my channel, Fifth Draw Live, on most Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings, streaming various video games. On the recommendation of some friends, I got the Return of the Obra Dinn, and I'm going to start playing through that here soon. So that should be fun. I have a podcast called Hard Reboot, where me and two friends take a public domain property, give it a fresh coat of paint, and we're going to be putting out a whole bunch of episodes to make up for 2020. And I have a shop on Etsy called Forge of Destiny, where I make custom props, such as this insane Buster Sword and keyblades. Hit it up, check it out. Let me know if you need anything made. And that's going to wrap it up for us. We're going to kick this over to Raven to tell you all about the sponsors of the channel.
Hello. Yeah, that was amazing. I really enjoyed watching that. Yeah, we're going to go on a raid here very shortly. But before we do, I want to mention our sponsors one more time. They are Fundamental RPG. It is a simple D20 system that's not tied to any genre, so you can use it to play any style of game that you would like, from sci-fi to high fantasy and everything in between. You can pick that up on Amazon for the physical copy, or if you prefer a digital version, you can pick the PDF version up on coffee.com/Raven. That's ko-fi.com/RAVVYN. And there's a bunch of other cool stuff there as well. And then also Die Hard Dice. They sell amazing polymer and metal dice sets and accessories. You can find all of that out at dieharddice.com. If you use the code ANIMUS with a capital A, you can get 10% off of your entire order. And I highly recommend checking out the Luminous Chrome RPG set. It's extremely pretty. I've been using it to roll all my physical rolls this month, and I'm quite enjoying it. So yeah, go check those out. And then if you want to catch up on this show or any other show that we have or have had on the channel, you can do so at the Fantasy Network at watch.thefantasy.network. For now, we're going to go on a raid. We're going to go raid Super Dylan. Awesome person, awesome channel. There is just a stellar cast over there right now, so go say hi to all of them. Give all those people a follow. And you can catch us back for more Blackfeather Guild tomorrow at 6 p.m. Mountain Time on YouTube for our Blackfeather Paranormal Investigations game. It's going to be our first YouTube stream. I'm pretty excited about that. I don't have a fancy direct URL for it yet, so if you just go to YouTube and search Blackfeather Guild, ours should be the first channel that pops up. So come hang out over there tomorrow, and I will see you then. Bye, everybody.